This was supposed to be a normal TV interview, but it turned into one of the most uncomfortable moments daytime television has ever seen. One emotional comment, one sharp response, and suddenly, the cameras didn't cut. Jelly Roll leaned forward. The room went silent, and minutes later, the segment ended abruptly. Was he really kicked off the view? Or did something happen they didn't want to see? Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss an update. Now let's dive into what really happened. No one saw this coming. Not the audience sitting at home, not the studio crew behind the cameras, and definitely not daytime television. What began as a normal celebrity appearance on The View quickly turned into one of the most explosive moments the show had seen in a long time. Country rap star Jelly Roll, a musician loved for his raw honesty, emotional storytelling, and real-life struggles, walked onto the set expecting a conversation about music, healing, and personal growth. Instead, viewers witnessed a moment that would spark outrage, debate, and millions of online reactions. At first, everything felt routine. Jelly Roll was introduced warmly. The audience applauded. Smiles were exchanged. The tone was light, friendly, and professional. Exactly what fans expect from a daytime talk show. No tension. No warning signs. Just another celebrity guest, ready to share his story. But beneath the surface, something was building. As the conversation unfolded, Jelly Roll began opening up the way he always does, honestly, emotionally, and without a filter. He spoke about overcoming addiction, battling inner demons, and how music saved his life. For many viewers, his words felt powerful and relatable. You could see heads nodding in the audience. The moment felt real. Then the mood shifted. When the discussion moved away from music and into deeper social topics, the tone changed noticeably. One comment led to another, and suddenly, longtime co-host Joy Behar challenged Jelly Roll's perspective. What started as a simple disagreement quickly felt sharper, more personal, and far more intense than anyone expected. The room went quiet. Viewers at home could feel the energy change through the screen. Jelly Roll's expression shifted, not angry but surprised. He tried to respond calmly, choosing his words carefully. But the conversation no longer felt balanced. It felt tense, awkward, uncomfortable. Within moments, the atmosphere that once felt welcoming turned heavy. Cameras kept rolling. Audience members exchanged glances. Other co-hosts appeared, unsure whether to step in or let the exchange continue. And Jelly Roll, known for wearing his heart on his sleeve, suddenly found himself in a position no guest ever wants to be in, feeling judged rather than heard. That's when social media caught fire. Clips of the exchange were posted online almost immediately. Short videos spread across TikTok, X, and YouTube at lightning speed. Headlines started popping up everywhere. Comment sections exploded with opinion theories and arguments. And one question echoed louder than all the rest. Did Jelly Roll really get kicked off The View? Some viewers claimed the segment ended too abruptly. Others noticed how quickly the show transitioned after the tense moment. Rumors spread that producers stepped in behind the scenes to shut things down before the situation escalated further. Official statements were scarce. No clear confirmation. No detailed explanation. But sometimes silence speaks louder than words. What was undeniable was the reaction. Fans felt something was wrong. The moment didn't feel planned. It didn't feel scripted. It felt real. And that's exactly why it grabbed so much attention. In a world where television moments are often carefully controlled, this one felt raw, unpredictable, and uncomfortable. And that's what turned a simple daytime interview into a viral controversy that dominated online conversation for days, setting the stage for an even bigger debate about respect, free expression, and what really happens when worlds collide on live television. Jelly Roll didn't walk onto The View expecting controversy. He came prepared to do what he has always done best, tell his story. A story of pain, redemption, and transformation. For years, Jelly Roll has spoken openly about addiction, mental health struggles, and the long road it took to rebuild his life. This appearance was supposed to be another chapter in that journey, a chance to inspire, connect, and remind people that change is possible. And at first, that's exactly what happened. The conversation began smoothly. Jelly Roll spoke about how music became his lifeline during his darkest moments. He described hitting rock bottom, facing consequences, and making the difficult decision to turn his life around. The studio audience listened quietly, then applauded warmly. Several hosts nodded in agreement, clearly moved by his honesty. It felt authentic, real, human. Jelly Roll went on to explain how his success now carries responsibility, not in a political sense, but a personal one. He talked about wanting to help people who feel invisible, ignored, or written off by society. People who don't see themselves reflected in polished celebrity stories. For a moment, the room felt united, but then the conversation slowly began to drift. A question shifted the focus from personal struggle to broader social responsibility, from lived experience to cultural influence. And that's when longtime co-host Joy Behar pushed back on one of Jelly Roll's comments. Her tone changed, sharper, more direct. What had been a reflective discussion suddenly felt like a challenge. Joy questioned whether public figures like Jelly Roll had a duty to take stronger stances on certain issues. Her words carried weight, and the moment quickly moved away from personal storytelling into deeper ideological territory. The shift was subtle but powerful. Jelly Roll paused before responding. You could see him choosing his words carefully. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't attack. Instead, he tried to explain his point of view the only way he knew how, through real-life experience. He spoke about empathy, about meeting people where they are, about understanding pain before assigning labels. He emphasized that his message was about healing, not dividing lines. But the back and forth continued. Joy pressed further. Interruptions became more frequent. The rhythm of the conversation broke down. What once felt balanced now felt uneven. Other hosts appeared uncertain, unsure whether to step in or let the discussion play out. And Jelly Roll? He remained composed, but his discomfort was visible. His posture stiffened. His expressions tightened. The warmth that filled the room earlier was gone. The conversation no longer felt like an exchange. It felt like a confrontation. Viewers at home could sense it immediately. Social media later described the moment as tense, awkward, and hard to watch. The energy in the room shifted dramatically, and even without sound, the body language told the story. This wasn't just a disagreement. It was a collision between two worlds, one rooted in lived struggle, the other in televised debate. And neither side seemed willing to back down. As the tension built, the segment felt longer than it actually was. Every pause felt heavier. Every response carried more weight. The audience grew quieter. The smiles disappeared. Something had changed. And by the time the conversation ended, it was clear to everyone watching. This interview had gone somewhere no one expected. The mood had shifted. The comfort was gone. And the calm that defined the beginning of the segment had completely vanished. The conversation didn't just take a turn. It crossed a line, setting the stage for what would happen next. As the discussion continued, the tension in the studio became impossible to ignore. Jelly Roll, who had remained calm and respectful throughout the earlier part of the conversation, now appeared visibly affected. His body language changed. He leaned forward in his chair, clasping his hands tightly, as if grounding himself. His voice grew firmer, not loud, not aggressive, but heavy with emotion. This wasn't anger. This was frustration mixed with hurt. Jelly Roll spoke openly about feeling judged, about how often people like him, people with complicated pasts and real scars, are misunderstood in polished media spaces. He explained that conversations about responsibility and influence should leave room for lived experience, not just talking points. His words were raw. He talked about being talked down to, about how it feels when someone dismisses personal struggle, as if it doesn't count because it doesn't fit a certain narrative. And for a brief moment, it felt like the entire room held its breath. The audience was silent. Joy Behar responded quickly, pushing back again, defending her position and the nature of debate on the show. The exchange tightened. Interruptions became sharper. The back and forth lost its earlier rhythm and turned into something far more uncomfortable. You could see it on everyone's faces. Other co-hosts began shifting in their seats. One attempted to step in, gently trying to redirect the conversation back to Jelly Roll's music. Another offered a comment meant to ease the tension. But it was clear the moment had already crossed a line. The atmosphere had changed completely. What started as a discussion now felt like a standoff. Jelly Roll paused mid-sentence at one point, exhaling slowly, as if weighing whether to continue. His eyes scanned the table, then the audience. When he spoke again, his words were deliberate, emotional, and deeply personal. This wasn't performance. This wasn't rehearsed. This was real, and the cameras kept rolling. Then, suddenly, the segment ended. No smooth wrap-up. No light transition. No easy laughter to release the tension. The show moved on abruptly, leaving viewers stunned by how quickly everything stopped. That's when the speculation began. Online, fans noticed the awkward cut. Some claimed Jelly Roll appeared to leave the set earlier than scheduled. Others suggested producers stepped in behind the scenes to de-escalate the situation before it spiraled further. Rumors spread fast. Was Jelly Roll escorted off set? Was the segment cut short intentionally? Did producers intervene? The View did not officially confirm that Jelly Roll was kicked off the show. No detailed explanation was given. No immediate clarification followed. And that silence only fueled the fire. Within hours, hashtags began trending across social media platforms. Clips of the tense exchange were reposted again and again, each time drawing more reactions, more opinions, and more division. Some viewers praised Jelly Roll for standing his ground. They called him brave, honest, and real, someone who refused to back down when his lived experience was questioned. Many said his response reflected the frustration of everyday people who feel unheard in mainstream conversations. Others sided with Joy Behar, arguing that The View has always been a place for tough discussions. They pointed out that challenging guests is part of the show's format, and that disagreement doesn't mean disrespect. The internet split almost instantly, but regardless of which side people took, one thing was undeniable. This moment struck a nerve. It wasn't just about Jelly Roll. It wasn't just about Joy Behar. It was about how fragile conversations have become, and how quickly dialogue can turn into confrontation under the bright lights of live television. And as the dust settled, one question remained hanging in the air. Was this just an uncomfortable TV moment, or something much bigger? Once the clip hit social media, the reaction was immediate and overwhelming. Within minutes, short videos of the tense exchange began spreading across platforms like wildfire. TikTok, YouTube, X, and Instagram were flooded with reposts, slowed-down clips, reaction edits, and bold captions. Some videos framed the moment as a powerful stand. Others labeled it a public clash. But no matter how it was presented, everyone seemed to be watching. Supporters of Jelly Roll rallied fast. Fans praised his honesty, calling him real, respectful, and brave for speaking from the heart on a national stage. Many said they saw themselves in his words. People who feel judged for their past or dismissed because their experiences don't fit into polished narratives. Comment sections filled with messages from viewers who related deeply to his frustration. This is what real pain sounds like. One comment read, "He didn't raise his voice, he raised the truth," said another. For many, the moment symbolized a larger disconnect between everyday struggles and elite media conversations. Supporters argued that Jelly Roll wasn't being defensive. He was defending lived experience. And that resonated deeply with people who often feel unheard. But the support wasn't universal. Just as quickly, others stepped in to defend Joy Behar. They pointed out that The View has always been known for tough conversations and strong opinions. Supporters argue that disagreement doesn't automatically mean disrespect, and that challenging guests is part of the show's identity. Some felt Jelly Roll misread the situation, while others believed the exchange was simply an example of open debate in action. "This is what discussion looks like," one user commented. "If you go on The View, you know what to expect," wrote another. And just like that, the internet divided. Comment sections turned into battlegrounds. Threads stretched into the thousands. People debated tone, intent, and fairness. Some analyzed body language. Others replayed clips frame by frame, trying to determine who crossed the line first. The volume of attention was impossible to ignore. Reaction videos flooded YouTube, with creators breaking down the moment from every angle, emotional, political, cultural, and personal. TikTok clips racked up millions of views in a matter of hours, often paired with dramatic music and bold on-screen captions. Even late-night commentators and podcast hosts began referencing the exchange. The moment had officially escaped daytime television. What made it even more powerful was this. Many of the people weighing in had never listened to a Jelly Roll song before. Yet suddenly, they were talking about his story. They were searching his music. They were sharing his interviews. They were repeating his words. Ironically, what began as an uncomfortable on-air moment ended up amplifying his voice far beyond the view. The very exchange that some believed silenced him instead introduced him to an entirely new audience. For Jelly Roll supporters, the viral moment felt validating, proof that authenticity still cuts through noise. For critics, it sparked conversations about professionalism, tone, and expectations in public forums. But for everyone watching, it proved one undeniable truth. This was no longer just a TV moment. It was a cultural conversation. And as the reactions continued to pour in, one question grew louder with every repost and comment. What does this moment say about how we talk and listen to each other today? Whether Jelly Roll was officially removed from the set or not, this moment revealed something far bigger than a single television appearance. It exposed just how fragile real conversations have become in today's media landscape. In an era where interviews are often carefully managed, timed, and polished, moments like this stand out, not because they're perfect, but because they're real. This exchange showed how quickly dialogue can turn into tension, how easily understanding can be replaced by defensiveness, and how authenticity often struggles to survive inside scripted television formats. Jelly Roll has never been a carefully packaged celebrity. His career has been built on truth, messy, uncomfortable, and deeply emotional truth. He speaks from scars, not scripts, from experience, not headlines. And while that honesty has earned him millions of loyal fans, it doesn't always fit neatly into daytime talk show expectations. Maybe that's exactly why this moment resonated so deeply. For many viewers, it felt like watching two different worlds collide. On one side, a man shaped by hardship, recovery, and real-life consequences. On the other, a long-running television format built around sharp debate and fast-paced discussion. Neither side was entirely wrong, but they were speaking different languages. For The View, the moment served as a reminder of the delicate balance between debate and confrontation. Tough conversations can be powerful, but only when both sides feel heard. When that balance tips, the result isn't clarity, it's conflict. And conflict, especially on live television, has consequences. For viewers at home, this wasn't just another viral clip. It felt raw, unfiltered, uncomfortable, and in a media world dominated by rehearsed answers and surface-level sound bites, that kind of authenticity is rare. Some viewers felt inspired, others felt frustrated, many felt seen, and that emotional response is exactly why the moment mattered. As for Jelly Roll, the experience may not have been easy, but it reinforced why so many people connect with him in the first place. He didn't lash out. He didn't walk away. He spoke his truth, even when it was uncomfortable, even when the room didn't feel safe anymore. That takes courage. In the days that followed, his music reached new listeners. His message reached new audiences. And conversations sparked by that moment continued far beyond the walls of the studio. In the end, this wasn't about who won the exchange. It was about what it revealed. It revealed the growing gap between lived experience and televised debate. It revealed how hungry people are for honesty. And it revealed that sometimes the most powerful moments don't happen when everyone agrees. They happen when someone refuses to stay silent. And whether you sided with Jelly Roll, Joy Behar, or somewhere between, one thing is undeniable. This moment made people stop. It made them listen. And it made them talk. And in today's world, that alone makes it unforgettable.